This week is the countdown to Halloween, a time when we watch scary movies, carve pumpkins, dress up, and trick-or-treat. Well, since it's the spookiest time of year, we wanted to highlight some fears and phobias on this week's Nursing the North. Here to tell us more is Nurse Christina Paris from the VA. So good morning, Christina.
Hi, good morning.
So first question, when you talk about fears and phobias, is there a difference between the two?
Yes, there is. So a fear is natural when people feel that they're faced with imminent danger. A phobia is when it gets excessive. So when there's things that would normally not be afraid of, for example, going out in public or meeting friends. So that's not a normal fear-inducing emotion, but that's when it becomes a phobia.
Interesting. Okay. And so are there maybe some triggers that can cause these fears and phobias to make us act up, I suppose?
Absolutely. So some people just have a genetic predisposition. So you might have family members or genetically are just a little more cautious. Temperamental tendencies too. So people who just might not be just right out there, they're a little more, again, kind of more cautious. Direct conditioning. So maybe you're afraid of dogs because you got bit by a dog, or mom or dad talked about being bit by a dog. And that's kind of more like vicariously conditioning. So maybe, if somebody talks about, oh my gosh, this was really an awful situation, you're going to be more afraid of it too, like snakes or primates, like animals. Also negative information. So as we were kind of talking before the segment about COVID, people who maybe had a little fear of just the unknown of COVID might become more germophobic, as we would say. So you're really got a heightened alert, and that's just from the negative information and just the unknown.
Absolutely. I think that's something that a lot of us can relate to. Just the fear of germs, I think, has just kind of gone up generally. But will people have maybe any physical symptoms that can come with these fears and phobias?
Oh, sure you can. So you can have like a pounding, racing heart. Maybe you're short of breath, rapid speech, or you're just speechless, not able to speak at all. You might get dry mouth, have like an upset stomach, feel nausea, elevated blood pressure. You can kind of tremble or shake. Some people even get like chest pain or chest tightness, or a choking sensation. You can be dizzy, lightheaded. Some people will break out in a sweat or just have this really sense of impending doom.
Yikes, definitely some tough symptoms there, but maybe what are some of the most common phobias and treatment options for those people?
So some of them are like acrophobia, oh my gosh, fear of spiders, right. And then acrophobia, which is a fear of heights. There's astrophobia, a fear of thunder and lightning. I know a lot of dogs have that. What about social phobias, or even mythphobias, which is a fear, we kind of talked about the fear of germs. So those are some of the big ones. There's all kinds.
Yeah, absolutely. I think a lot of those people can relate to as well. And fears are very common with children, right? And is there anything that we can do to help children who are experiencing these fears maybe for the first time?
Sure. So children, have a lot of fears, like especially in the preschool ages. Their fear of imaginary creatures. How many of us were afraid that something was under our bed? Some of us, like myself, still don't like to stick my foot out of the covers.
Sure.
So we have these fears. Some of the things you want to do is don't use it as a threat. So if your child, for example, has a fear of shots, you don't want to say, hey, if you're naughty, to that doctor, if you're not a good boy, the doctor's going to give you a shot, or humiliate them. Only babies are afraid of that. You don't want to use indifference either. So make sure that you're comforting them. It's okay. It's, that can be normal. I know it can look scary. Don't use unrealistic expectations to get them to master it. Like, you will pet that dog. I don't care that you're scared. You're going to touch it. It's not bad. That can make them or heighten it even more, or be too overprotective. We're not going to go over there because they have dogs.
Sure.
You want to help them without making it like penalizing them for it.
Sure, it sounds like just a good opportunity to be supportive and encouraging.
Correct.
Well, thank you. I think that answers all of our questions this morning. We really appreciate you joining us, and we'll talk to you next week.
Absolutely. Watch out for those ghouls and goblins this week.
Will do. You have a great Halloween.
All right. You too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.